Hello everyone, in today's video we have to solving the problem of the day of Geeks for Geeks. Problem name is sitting arrangement. So firstly we read the problem statement and after that we try to understand the approach to solving that problem. So problem statement is you are given an integer denoting the number of pupils who need to be seated and a list of m integers seated where 0 represent the vacant seat and 1 represent an empty and already occupied seat. So find whether all n pupil can find a seat provide that no two pupil can sit next to each other. Okay, so this is our simplest example. To this we understand the problem. So there are two pupils that need to be seated and there are m seated in the classroom. So we need to assign two seats to the two pupils. If we able to assign the seats to the pupils, so we return yes, else we return no. So this is our simplest question. Now we understand this problem using two examples. So in the first example, there are two pupils that need to be seated in a sitting arrangement and there are m seats. So we check. We assign the first seat to the pupil. Yes, first is 0 and a seat after it is vacant. So we assign this seat to the pupil. Okay, and we decrement the number of pupil need to be seated. Okay, now we check this seat is assigned to the pupil but value before it and value after it is not 0, so we do not assign this value. So we check this seat is to be assigned no because it is already occupied. We check this no because value before it is 1. This seat is already occupied, so we check this. So we assign this seat to the pupil because value before it and value after it is 0. So and we assign this seat and we decrement the value of number of pupil. So at the end we able to assign the number of pupil in the sitting arrangement, so we return yes. Now understand it in the second example. So there are only one pupil that need to be seated in the sitting arrangement and there are three seats. So we check. We assign this first seat no because value after it is 1. So we check this no, this is already occupied. Now we check this value before it is already occupied. So we do not able to assign one pupil to one seat. So at the end we return no. So this is the simplest question. Now the question is how to solve this question. We traverse the whole array and check value before it and value after it. If both values is zeros, then we assign this seat to the pupil and decrement the number of pupil need to be seated in. And at the end, if our n is greater than or equal to 0, then we return true. Is lesser than, sorry, is lesser than, so we return true, else we return false. Now we code the problem. Okay, and if there is only one seat and that seat is empty and only one pupil need to seated in the sitting arrangement, so we return true. And if m equals to 1, that means there are only one seat and that seat is occupied by the pupil and 0 pupil need this seat, so we also return true. Now we check first seat is if first seat is 0 and the seat after it is also 0, then we assign this seat to the pupil, so we decrement and okay and assign this seat to the pupil. And after that we start a for loop that start from 1 because we checked seat before it and this is m minus 1 and I plus plus. So we check if we check seat before it. If seat before it is 0 and this seat should also be 0 and seat after it is also 0. Then we assign this seat to the pupil and decrement it. And here we check for the last seat of the if. We check if array m minus 1 is 0 and m minus 2 is also 0. So at the end we check the number of seats. If number of seats is lesser than equal to 0 hai, then we return true, else we return false. Now try to compile this code, and after that if it is compiled successfully, now we try to submit that code. Okay, there is minor error in 38 line. What in we forgot to make a comma, and 45 line. Okay, I 33 line. Okay, 0 73 0 48 0. And what this? So reduce the minor error occurred in the code, and now we try to compile this code. So guys, code is compiled successfully. Now we try to submit this code. So code is submitted successfully. Thank you for watching this video. Follow for next video in the upcoming session of Geeks for Geeks.